Hello, welcome to another episode of Chevalier, where we are here to help men and women find happy and healthy relationships. And as you guys know, it don't matter whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, South American, or even the penguins in Antarctica. Really appreciate you guys for really supporting me and what I'm trying to do to help men and women find happy and healthy relationships. Because at the end of the day, I don't do this for views. I don't do this for money. I don't do this for any other reason other than trying to be a positive select for the people that I love and care about. For my people. And when I say my people, I mean people who are looking for happy and healthy relationships. I spent 17 amazing years in a loving marriage, and if life continues, I will continue that process. But as I go through that process, the number one thing that I've come across that has led me to do this series specifically about why a woman needs to get married is because I want to help women of all cultures understand having a man in the household is not a bad thing. And when I talk to women who are Asian, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, I even spoke to two ladies who were from Africa this weekend and Jamaica. It's like the conversation doesn't even happen, because by the time you say, hey, let me explain, why do you think a good man is needed in our house? I remember, 2 days ago, I had a woman give me so many reasons. It's like, the conversation was dead. I didn't even need to say anything, because she had even mentioned things that I didn't even think about why having a husband in it is important. And the ironic thing was she's married. She's been married for 10 years, and she continues to be married to a wonderful gentleman who I had the pleasure of speaking with. And you know what I'm saying? So I think it's very vital that women of all cultures understand the value of a man. But especially in the black community, you know what I'm saying, where there's this notion of a woman being independent, which I always ironically say, if you're over the age of 21, I don't care if you're an alien from Mars, you need to be independent anyway. But see, women of most cultures understand that being independent is not a culture thing, it's a human adult thing. I think where a lot of women get confused in our community, or the African American community, is you want to be interdependent. Interdependent. That's the word you're looking for. See, being interdependent, it was more like what you see from our grandparents and some of our parents, where she got her own money, she's working, she has a career, she's independent over here, he has his own money, he has his own career, he's independent over there, and at the end of the day, y'all come home and enjoy family. Because it is possible for a woman to clean the house, for a man to do the work in the yard, for a woman to cook and clean, for a man to make sure that the house is protected, and everybody still have their financial independence where they're not depending on a man. And I tell a woman, if you're depending on a man, then you're in a really bad financial situation. And and I know this is going to probably not be the fairest thing to say, but you could probably use some work in putting yourself in a better position where you don't feel like you ever have to be dependent on a man, because nobody should ever be dependent on anybody unless you're married. I always say, if you don't have, I always tell women all the time, if you don't have a ring on your finger, you absolutely have no reason to be for a man to do anything for you that he doesn't want to do out the kindness of his heart. That he doesn't want to do because he feels entitled to. If a man feels like he wants to do something because he has it in his heart to do, then great. Then nice, then good, because that means that you're with a man who values you. But to tell guys he's supposed to do all these things for a woman who has done absolutely nothing for him and his happiness, I think is asinine. But when you're married, when you're dating a guy for the purpose of a relationship that leads to marriage, then you don't have to worry about depending on a man, because a man who truly loves and values his wife and his girlfriend and his fiance, he's going to teach her how to be independent and grow her independence. So regardless of what happens to the relationship, whether he are married for 40 years and he passes, or something happens where he's no longer around, or the relationship dissolves, which is reality, which is life, she's in a position where she can still take care of the family, where she can still take care of the kids, where she can still take care of the household, whether he's there or not. Because at the end of the day, again, the value of a man is to help build a woman and make her better. And unfortunately, being in that position can be difficult when you're in a household by yourself, especially as a parent trying to financially take care of a child or children, and you don't have any other support. And not just financial support, but support from anybody. So ladies, when you have a husband in the household, you have someone there that can build financial security, as I spoke about last week, but you also have someone that can help you build and protection for the family, discipline for the family. There's just, whether you agree with it or not, there are in every culture, there are certain aspects to raising, I'll say a boy for instance, that only a boy and a man can bond on, to the point where he can raise him and tell him and incite him on how to be a productive person so he can go out in life and be successful. There's a certain level of authority that men who have discipline, integrity, morals, and ethics are instilled with, where they can command the respect from their children, so when they ask them to do something, there is no pushback, there is no issue, there is no problem, there is no, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. It's pretty much straightforward. They're going to take care of what you ask them to do, and there's no issue. I even give you guys a quick funny little tidbit. I remember, this was probably maybe like 5-6 years ago, and my wife had asked my son, hey, I need you to, go wash some dishes. And so, he was playing his video game, in the living room, and he was like, oh, I'll take care of him after I finish this game real quick. And so slowly but surely, I creep around the corner, and he looks in my eyes. I didn't say anything. He just looks in my eyes, and he gets up and he pauses the game, and he goes off and he washes the dishes, and everything's good. I didn't have to say anything. I don't believe in cussing around kids under any circumstances. Number two, I don't believe in cussing and yelling and threatening violence against children, because this is why so many kids grow up in single parent households, and then when they're big enough and strong enough to look back at their parents, they do. From all the trauma of being abused as children. Now when your kids get to an age where they can stand on their own 2 feet, they don't want to listen to you no more, because I'm about to use the H word, but I'll just say they strongly dislike you, and you're nobody to them. Whether when in a position like I was in, and so many of these great fathers out here, raised with discipline. Yeah, sometimes you gotta beat that behind. As the Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. But what a man understands, after I take care of that discipline, I'm going to sit down with my child and I'm going to help them understand why I did what I did, so I can better build a relationship with them. But most importantly, so I can show them that I love them and that I did it out of love. Men bring a protection to the household that, in all fairness, most women are not able to bring to the household. And it's not because they're a woman, it's because they're one person. It's like building an army. You don't build an army with 2 people. You build an army with 2,000 people. Strength in numbers. 2 people in the household. Somebody, breaks in the window downstairs. You hear the window breaking, this toy out in the household. You're gonna feel more able to. We can do this. We got the life insurance upstairs. And if somebody decides to break in the house, we're in a position to make sure that we protect our home. Whether you being in the house by yourself and you hear that glass break downstairs and now you're scared, like you don't know what's going on, because if something happens to you, the rest of the house is vulnerable. Men bring a discipline to the children in the household, an authoritarian discipline that helps raise children to be in a position to be successful. And in the third aspect, as I talked about the financial aspect, 2 incomes are better than 1. So at the end of the day, ladies, you need to marry men who have discipline, integrity, morals, and ethics, because they build the family nature that's going to help you guys be successful for many generations to come. Until always, next time, peace. We out.